Pratiquez l'anglais tous les jours, écoutez, parlez, entraînez-vous et améliorez vos compétences linguistiques avec nous.
Quand tu as fini, continue à t'exercer dans notre appli. C'est gratuit, lien en description.
Commencez à vous entraîner.
Truck drivers move goods across the country. Truck drivers move goods across the country.
Les chauffeurs routiers transportent des marchandises à travers le pays.
Truck drivers move goods across the country. Truck drivers move goods across the country. A truck driver starts work early. A truck driver starts work early.
Un chauffeur routier commence à travailler tôt.
A truck driver starts work early. A truck driver starts work early. The driver checks the truck before a trip. The driver checks the truck before a trip.
Le conducteur vérifie le camion avant un trajet.
The driver checks the truck before a trip. The driver checks the truck before a trip. He looks at the tires. He looks at the tires.
Il regarde les pneus.
He looks at the tires. He looks at the tires. She tests the lights. She tests the lights.
Elle teste les feux.
She tests the lights. She tests the lights. They check the brakes. They check the brakes.
Il vérifie les freins.
They check the brakes. They check the brakes. The driver reads the route plan. The driver reads the route plan.
Le conducteur lit le plan d'itinéraire.
The driver reads the route plan. The driver reads the route plan. The dispatcher gives directions. The dispatcher gives directions.
Le répartiteur donne des instructions.
The dispatcher gives directions. The dispatcher gives directions. The driver uses a GPS. The driver uses a GPS.
Le conducteur utilise un GPS.
The driver uses a GPS. The driver uses a GPS. He follows the speed limit. He follows the speed limit.
Il respecte la limitation de vitesse.
He follows the speed limit. He follows the speed limit. She wears a seat belt. She wears a seat belt.
Elle porte une ceinture de sécurité.
She wears a seat belt. She wears a seat belt. The driver watches the mirrors. The driver watches the mirrors.
Le conducteur surveille les rétroviseurs.
The driver watches the mirrors. The driver watches the mirrors. He checks blind spots. He checks blind spots.
Il vérifie les angles morts.
He checks blind spots. He checks blind spots. She signals before changing lanes. She signals before changing lanes.
Elle met son clignotant avant de changer de voie.
She signals before changing lanes. She signals before changing lanes. The truck driver makes wide turns. The truck driver makes wide turns.
Le chauffeur routier prend de larges virages.
The truck driver makes wide turns. The truck driver makes wide turns. The driver stops at a way station. The driver stops at a way station.
Le conducteur s'arrête à un poste de pesée.
The driver stops at a way station. The driver stops at a way station. He shows his license. He shows his license.
Il présente son permis de conduire.
He shows his license. He shows his license. She has a CDL. She has a CDL.
Elle a un permis poids lourd, CDL.
She has a CDL. She has a CDL. The driver carries a bill of lading. The driver carries a bill of lading.
Le conducteur transporte une lettre de voiture.
The driver carries a bill of lading. The driver carries a bill of lading. He picks up a load at a warehouse. He picks up a load at a warehouse.
Il récupère un chargement dans un entrepôt.
He picks up a load at a warehouse. He picks up a load at a warehouse. She backs up to the dock. She backs up to the dock.
Elle recule jusqu'au quai.
She backs up to the dock. She backs up to the dock. The forklift loads the trailer. The forklift loads the trailer.
Le chariot élévateur charge la remorque.
The forklift loads the trailer. The forklift loads the trailer. The driver secures the cargo. The driver secures the cargo.
Le conducteur arrime la cargaison.
The driver secures the cargo. The driver secures the cargo. He uses straps and a tarp. He uses straps and a tarp.
Il utilise des sangles et une bâche.
He uses straps and a tarp. He uses straps and a tarp. She closes and seals the doors. She closes and seals the doors.
Elle ferme et scelle les portes.
She closes and seals the doors. She closes and seals the doors. The driver checks the load again. The driver checks the load again.
Le conducteur vérifie de nouveau le chargement.
The driver checks the load again. The driver checks the load again. He keeps a logbook. He keeps a logbook.
Il tient un carnet de bord.
He keeps a logbook. He keeps a logbook. She uses an ELD. She uses an ELD.
Elle utilise un enregistreur électronique de bord, ELD.
She uses an ELD. She uses an ELD. The driver plans fuel stops. The driver plans fuel stops.
Le conducteur planifie les arrêts de ravitaillement en carburant.
The driver plans fuel stops. The driver plans fuel stops. He buys diesel at a truck stop. He buys diesel at a truck stop.
Il achète du diesel dans un relais routier.
He buys diesel at a truck stop. He buys diesel at a truck stop. She grabs a coffee for the road. She grabs a coffee for the road.
Elle prend un café pour la route.
She grabs a coffee for the road. She grabs a coffee for the road. The driver takes breaks at rest areas. The driver takes breaks at rest areas.
Le conducteur fait des pauses sur les aires de repos.
The driver takes breaks at rest areas. The driver takes breaks at rest areas. He showers at the truck stop. He showers at the truck stop.
Il prend une douche au relais routier.
He showers at the truck stop. He showers at the truck stop. She does laundry on the road. She does laundry on the road.
Elle fait sa lessive sur la route.
She does laundry on the road. She does laundry on the road. The driver talks on the CB radio. The driver talks on the CB radio.
Le conducteur parle sur la CB.
The driver talks on the CB radio. The driver talks on the CB radio. He calls dispatch for updates. He calls dispatch for updates.
Il appelle le répartiteur pour des mises à jour.
He calls dispatch for updates. He calls dispatch for updates. She gives an ETA to the customer. She gives an ETA to the customer.
Elle donne une heure d'arrivée estimée au client.
She gives an ETA to the customer. She gives an ETA to the customer. The driver tries to be on time. The driver tries to be on time.
Le conducteur essaie d'être à l'heure.
The driver tries to be on time. The driver tries to be on time. He waits for a loading appointment. He waits for a loading appointment.
Il attend un rendez-vous de chargement.
He waits for a loading appointment. He waits for a loading appointment. She waits for an unloading window. She waits for an unloading window.
Elle attend un créneau de déchargement.
She waits for an unloading window. She waits for an unloading window. The driver deals with traffic. The driver deals with traffic.
Le conducteur gère la circulation.
The driver deals with traffic. The driver deals with traffic. He slows down in the rain. He slows down in the rain.
Il ralentit sous la pluie.
He slows down in the rain. He slows down in the rain. She drives carefully in fog. She drives carefully in fog.
Elle conduit prudemment dans le brouillard.
She drives carefully in fog. She drives carefully in fog. The driver chains up in the snow. The driver chains up in the snow.
Le conducteur installe les chaînes dans la neige.
The driver chains up in the snow. The driver chains up in the snow. He crosses a mountain pass. He crosses a mountain pass.
Il franchit un col de montagne.
He crosses a mountain pass. He crosses a mountain pass. She watches for steep downgrades. She watches for steep downgrades.
Elle surveille les fortes descentes.
She watches for steep downgrades. She watches for steep downgrades. The driver uses low gear on long hills. The driver uses low gear on long hills.
Le conducteur utilise une vitesse basse dans les longues descentes.
The driver uses low gear on long hills. The driver uses low gear on long hills. He checks the weather before leaving. He checks the weather before leaving.
Il vérifie la météo avant de partir.
He checks the weather before leaving. He checks the weather before leaving. She avoids roads with low bridges. She avoids roads with low bridges.
Elle évite les routes avec des ponts bas.
She avoids roads with low bridges. She avoids roads with low bridges. The driver follows posted weight limits. The driver follows posted weight limits.
Le conducteur respecte les limites de poids affichées.
The driver follows posted weight limits. The driver follows posted weight limits. He looks for construction zones. He looks for construction zones.
Il repère les zones de travaux.
He looks for construction zones. He looks for construction zones. She slows for road work. She slows for road work.
Elle ralentit à l'approche des travaux.
She slows for road work. She slows for road work. The driver takes a detour when needed. The driver takes a detour when needed.
Le conducteur prend une déviation si nécessaire.
The driver takes a detour when needed. The driver takes a detour when needed. He reroutes around a road closure. He reroutes around a road closure.
Il modifie son itinéraire pour contourner une route fermée.
He reroutes around a road closure. He reroutes around a road closure. She looks for safe parking at night. She looks for safe parking at night.
Elle cherche un stationnement sur la nuit.
She looks for safe parking at night. She looks for safe parking at night. The driver parks in a designated area. The driver parks in a designated area.
Le conducteur se gare dans une zone réservée.
The driver parks in a designated area. The driver parks in a designated area. He locks the doors. He locks the doors.
Il verrouille les portes.
He locks the doors. He locks the doors. She keeps valuables out of sight. She keeps valuables out of sight.
Elle garde les objets de valeur hors de vue.
She keeps valuables out of sight. She keeps valuables out of sight. The driver sleeps in the sleeper cab. The driver sleeps in the sleeper cab.
Le conducteur dort dans la cabine couchette.
The driver sleeps in the sleeper cab. The driver sleeps in the sleeper cab. He sets an alarm for the morning. He sets an alarm for the morning.
Il règle une alarme pour le matin.
He sets an alarm for the morning. He sets an alarm for the morning. She eats simple meals on the road. She eats simple meals on the road.
Elle mange des repas simples sur la route.
She eats simple meals on the road. She eats simple meals on the road. The driver drinks water to stay alert. The driver drinks water to stay alert.
Le conducteur boit de l'eau pour rester alerte.
The driver drinks water to stay alert. The driver drinks water to stay alert. He stretches during breaks. He stretches during breaks.
Il s'étire pendant les pauses.
He stretches during breaks. He stretches during breaks. She rests when she feels tired. She rests when she feels tired.
Elle se repose quand elle se sent fatiguée.
She rests when she feels tired. She rests when she feels tired. The driver reports problems to the mechanic. The driver reports problems to the mechanic.
Le conducteur signale les problèmes au mécanicien.
The driver reports problems to the mechanic. The driver reports problems to the mechanic. He checks tire pressure often. He checks tire pressure often.
Il vérifie souvent la pression des pneus.
He checks tire pressure often. He checks tire pressure often. She watches fuel levels. She watches fuel levels.
Elle surveille le niveau de carburant.
She watches fuel levels. She watches fuel levels. The driver inspects the trailer lights. The driver inspects the trailer lights.
Le conducteur inspecte les feux de la remorque.
The driver inspects the trailer lights. The driver inspects the trailer lights. He writes a pre-trip report. He writes a pre-trip report.
Il rédige un rapport d'avant-départ.
He writes a pre-trip report. He writes a pre-trip report. She writes a post-trip report. She writes a post-trip report.
Elle rédige un rapport de fin de trajet.
She writes a post-trip report. She writes a post-trip report. The driver keeps tools in the cab. The driver keeps tools in the cab.
Le conducteur garde des outils dans la cabine.
The driver keeps tools in the cab. The driver keeps tools in the cab. He carries a flashlight. He carries a flashlight.
Il emporte une lampe de poche.
He carries a flashlight. He carries a flashlight. She keeps jumper cables in the truck. She keeps jumper cables in the truck.
Elle garde des câbles de démarrage dans le camion.
She keeps jumper cables in the truck. She keeps jumper cables in the truck. The driver calls a tow truck after a breakdown. The driver calls a tow truck after a breakdown.
Le conducteur appelle une dépanneuse après une panne.
The driver calls a tow truck after a breakdown. The driver calls a tow truck after a breakdown. He waits safely on the shoulder. He waits safely on the shoulder.
Il attend en sécurité sur la bande d'arrêt d'urgence.
He waits safely on the shoulder. He waits safely on the shoulder. She turns on hazard lights. She turns on hazard lights.
Elle allume les feux de détresse.
She turns on hazard lights. She turns on hazard lights. The driver keeps a safe following distance. The driver keeps a safe following distance.
Le conducteur maintient une distance de sécurité.
The driver keeps a safe following distance. The driver keeps a safe following distance. He leaves room to stop. He leaves room to stop.
Il laisse de la distance pour s'arrêter.
He leaves room to stop. He leaves room to stop. She avoids sudden moves. She avoids sudden moves.
Elle évite les manœuvres brusques.
She avoids sudden moves. She avoids sudden moves. The driver keeps both hands on the wheel. The driver keeps both hands on the wheel.
Le conducteur garde les deux mains sur le volant.
The driver keeps both hands on the wheel. The driver keeps both hands on the wheel. He scans the road ahead. He scans the road ahead.
Il balaie la route du regard.
He scans the road ahead. He scans the road ahead. She checks the mirrors every few seconds. She checks the mirrors every few seconds.
Elle vérifie les rétroviseurs toutes les quelques secondes.
She checks the mirrors every few seconds. She checks the mirrors every few seconds. The driver keeps the cab clean. The driver keeps the cab clean.
Le conducteur garde la cabine propre.
The driver keeps the cab clean. The driver keeps the cab clean. He throws away trash at stops. He throws away trash at stops.
Il jette les déchets lors des arrêts.
He throws away trash at stops. He throws away trash at stops. She wipes the windshield. She wipes the windshield.
Elle essuie le pare-brise.
She wipes the windshield. She wipes the windshield. The driver listens to traffic reports. The driver listens to traffic reports.
Le conducteur écoute les infos trafic.
The driver listens to traffic reports. The driver listens to traffic reports. He watches for icy bridges. He watches for icy bridges.
Il se méfie des ponts verglacés.
He watches for icy bridges. He watches for icy bridges. She slows before a tight ramp. She slows before a tight ramp.
Elle ralentit avant une bretelle étroite.
She slows before a tight ramp. She slows before a tight ramp. The driver pays tolls on some roads. The driver pays tolls on some roads.
Le conducteur paye des péages sur certaines routes.
The driver pays tolls on some roads. The driver pays tolls on some roads. He uses a fuel card. He uses a fuel card.
Il utilise une carte carburant.
He uses a fuel card. He uses a fuel card. She tracks miles for pay. She tracks miles for pay.
Elle comptabilise les miles pour sa rémunération.
She tracks miles for pay. She tracks miles for pay. The driver gets paid by the mile. The driver gets paid by the mile.
Le conducteur est payé au mile.
The driver gets paid by the mile. The driver gets paid by the mile. He sometimes gets hourly pay. He sometimes gets hourly pay.
Il est parfois payé à l'heure.
He sometimes gets hourly pay. He sometimes gets hourly pay. She may get overtime. She may get overtime.
Elle peut toucher des heures supplémentaires.
She may get overtime. She may get overtime. The driver asks about detention pay. The driver asks about detention pay.
Le conducteur se renseigne sur les indemnités d'immobilisation.
The driver asks about detention pay. The driver asks about detention pay. He waits during a live load. He waits during a live load.
Il attend pendant un chargement en direct.
He waits during a live load. He waits during a live load. She does a drop and hook. She does a drop and hook.
Elle dépose une remorque et en accroche une autre.
She does a drop and hook. She does a drop and hook. The driver signs the paperwork. The driver signs the paperwork.
Le conducteur signe les documents.
The driver signs the paperwork. The driver signs the paperwork. He gets a proof of delivery. He gets a proof of delivery.
Il obtient un justificatif de livraison.
He gets a proof of delivery. He gets a proof of delivery. She sends a photo of the bills. She sends a photo of the bills.
Elle envoie une photo des bons de livraison.
She sends a photo of the bills. She sends a photo of the bills. The driver thanks the dock worker. The driver thanks the dock worker.
Le conducteur remercie l'agent de quai.
The driver thanks the dock worker. The driver thanks the dock worker.
Merci de votre visionnage. Abonnez-vous à notre chaîne et activez les notifications pour recevoir nos nouvelles vidéos et poursuivre votre voyage d'apprentissage de l'anglais.